Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we give you two, three interesting tech stories in the news, give you something fun about the library system, and send you on your way in 15 to 20 minutes. As always, if you have a story you'd like us to feature, Creation Station at broward.org comes right to me, and we'd be glad to put it on the air for you. Today, I've got Joe Gilch from Library IT Department. How are you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic.
Joe, you're one of the people who's in the background here. Tell us a little bit about what you actually do to keep the whole system running.
Well, that literally is my job. We have a few servers that are running in the background to operate all the public computers, keep track of them, allow logins, printing, uh, keep track of the ILS, I guess, the information system that takes care of all the books and all the good stuff. So one of the men in charge of keeping it all up and running.
It's amazing. And for anybody out there who's ever tried to keep anything up and running, you know how crazy it can be. And then add in, you only have like what, 30 something vendors to deal with?
That's 30 to 50.
Yeah. It's just a crazy thing. Let's get into our stories because there's some fun stories today. And there are some really interesting ones, I think, here with the idea of the on some medical technology stuff that's coming. So this first article is somebody had sent us in this article and wanted us to talk about it. It's all about this new spinal implant. So they've got people who are totally paralyzed, unable to move their legs, and with some CT scans of their spines and doing some cadaver work and a lot of other stuff. This has not been a couple of month process. This is a decades long process. They figured out 16 key nerve endings to reconnect, to rebuild, and allow people to walk. How cool is that, Joe, huh?
Just amazing. Just the amount of work they did to identify the bundles of nerves and how many implant stimulus to give them to get some reaction.
Yeah.
Very,
And
very cool.
this hits like everything that the library does almost. It's got the 3D printed spine. It's got all of the robotic stuff. I mean, it's not that we're making spines, everybody. But you could. I mean, we've got medical databases that you could actually print out a spine if you needed it for your science fair project. And we've got all those things that you could learn how to maneuver things and do stuff. But this just takes so much information. And they've got three people now that they've been able to perform this surgery on to get him to walk around. I just
And
like,
didn't one of them was able to have some longer lasting
yeah,
simulation. It was just absolutely amazing that that research led to some improved capability for one of those patients.
yeah. And it's crazy that they can go out and do all of this. This is one of those things, why aren't we living in the future? Why don't we have this is the future, everybody. We're getting, I mean, spinal disease and the Dolphins have a whole organization, whole charity organization just about that too, from the football side of things, of people who the Bonacotti Foundation, where they have done that for football players who have had spinal injuries and trying to do some of this research, and it's just like, wow, this is not something like, okay, well, in theory we can do this. This is like, no, we did it. We've proven we know how to do this. Now it's a question of getting it to scale, so it's not just at one lab, but at multiple labs.
Right, right. Identifying each individual and getting their specific nerves
Hmm.
identified, the
Yeah.
implant that'll trigger them. I was just amazed at the one guy who was riding a bike. I mean, he could
Oh,
barely
yeah.
walk.
That's actually the next one here, that placebo effect one. Yeah, you're exactly right. So
So
the
cool.
next story that we have is all about Parkinson's. So if you're not familiar with what Parkinson's disease is, it basically is only affects your brain, but your brain starts shutting off all of the things, all the motor functions that it can do. So you can't walk anymore. You have a very hard time talking and doing things like that. And then here's this one example of somebody who had been more than a decade living in a chair and then saw his granddaughter about to go fall down the stairs and just stood up, walked over, picked her up, and then went back and sat in the chair because his brain forgot he can't do that anymore.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And then you pointed out the one farther down in the article about someone who rides a motorcycle, who rides a bicycle. Um, and this is where they're thinking that it may have something to do with a little bit of either stimuli that's missing, or maybe it's just purely a placebo effect where you just need to forget that you don't know how to do it anymore and you go back to being able to do it.
The mind is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
To
And I
see that
show this as
happen,
it's a
hear
quick
that.
little video. You can see here's this person. His muscle control's really, really poor right now. And then as it happens, we're gonna get it there. He can barely walk, but they get
Wow.
him out there onto the bicycle, and once they get him up and running, boom, he just knows how to ride a bicycle again. Because it's something that
Oh,
brings him joy. It's something that reminds him of how to be, what he used to do, and he's just able to ride his bike.
oh, it's just absolutely incredible.
Again, this is all research stuff that's going on now, live in front of us, that people are able to come up with these ideas and really work this stuff out for where and how they can react. Now, I'm waiting for the end of this video here because at the end, you're going to see where he gets off the bike. You can see he's just a normal person right here riding the bike. He is doing great. And as soon as he gets off of the bike, all of a sudden he forgets and he can't
Wow.
walk anymore.
Wow.
And it's just such a crazy thing. As always, all these show notes, all these links will be in our show notes for you to come and see. But there's some really great medical research going on here and the technology all blending together is just gives us a little bit of hope for the future, huh?
Yeah, they've got some breakthroughs, and now they have some avenues to pursue to see if they can get the mind to, entice it.
Yeah.
Little, little margarita or.
There you go. You remember how you used to love to drink this? Here, put it in your hand and see if it happens
Mhm,
again.
mhm. Right.
Well,
Incredible.
sadly, we can't stay in the happy place because our last story today kind of stinks. Um, so if you're out there and you've done something bad on the internet, you cursed out someone on Facebook, or you did something on Twitter and you pissed off, you made some bad, stupid jokes or whatever. Um, the internet lives forever is the common phrase because there's the Wayback Machine. There's lots of places that contain all these things. Well, there's some firms out there that are trying to stop that, and not necessarily for good use. Tell me, you know about GDPR, right? Right, Joe? The
Vaguely
GDPR.
familiar.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
GDPR is a law in the European Union that requires everybody to respect your privacy. And there is a section of it called the right to be forgotten. As in, if you have done something, you made a horrible comment on Twitter, you have a right that after so many years, you should be able to say, no, I've changed, I'm a different person, and I want this removed. Well, the problem is there's some people taking advantage of this and making people think that this is a GDPR thing, but it's not because GDPR doesn't remove false things. GDPR only removes false things, not true things. And so here in this article, they go through um, how a company out here, one of the companies, and Quarium is the organization that was being targeted by Eliminalia as one of the firms that and Eliminalia is going after web hosting companies and threatening them with lawsuits if you don't take this down using false pretense under these laws and using strong arm tactics not only on the website people but pretty basically on the other side too. Like you're going to them saying, "Hey, I want you to fix my reputation," and then they're charging you $2,000 a link. Can you imagine?
That's insane.
Have you ever done
That's
anything stupid on the internet, Joe?
yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. See,
I've made some
everybody
comments I'm
has.
not proud of.
Yeah, everybody's had something out there, and this is part of growing up. This is also part of why, millennials don't care as much. Gen Z does not care at all about this stuff because they're used to living their lives online. This is what it is. You can see the whole progression of how their life has gone in that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is, I mean, 20 to $30,000 per person to go in and just and to get them to go out and remove real live information about you on the internet. Oh,
They're making money from both sides. That's just absolutely incredible.
yeah. Yeah. And one of the things is so what the actual idea behind it is if there was a false information or if there's something that shouldn't be there. One of the examples that is in the article, they talk about if you had revenge porn as an example, where you were in a consensual relationship, you filmed something with someone, you broke up, and then they threatened to post it online to embarrass you or harm you at your job. You should have the right to say, no, you can't post that because you're not giving consent and you technically have copyright over that video.
Right.
And so that is a good reason to use this stuff. But not to just take it down because you put it up yourself and you don't like that idea anymore. Ah,
Absolutely. Just insane.
yeah, I can't. And the whole idea is to be able to link from thing to thing to thing. So it's attacking the underlying part of the internet of all of those links that go from place to place. And so you've done a lot of that though here, not only here for the library website stuff, but I mean just overall IT world. What do you think about the idea of what we have to compare with Sunshine Law here in Florida, of having to keep records of everything against something like this?
Yeah, that would be really, really difficult to be able to go through all that archives. I mean, I don't think we offer anything nearly as
Hmm.
strong as what the European Union has done. I
Yeah.
wish we would. I know California is trying to do it, but yeah, I don't think there's a lot of push for that in the state at this point.
No, especially in Florida, there's not, and like I said, with a sunshine law in Florida, where sunshine law just means all all things that happen with government have to be a public record, a public document. They get published. That's why we have Florida Man, because it's got to be published within the 48 hours. I wonder what would happen if somebody were to come to us and say, "Hey, I want this taken off of my thing." It's like, well, no, that's not how Florida works.
Nope.
You don't get to
Yeah,
just pick, man.
not at all.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense at all to me. I mean, and so this again, we picked two stories today that just are like pages and pages and pages of stuff long. We can never cover the entire piece of it. But so some of them have been the reason this story really came up is because of how complete this thing is infecting the rest of the world, where they haven't grown up with as much of the internet as we have in the United States, perhaps, and stuff like that.
Good
And so
point.
I do encourage everybody out there, read this article, go through it, or go investigate on your own. and come back and let us know. If you find something else out there, you let us know about it, because we want to cover your stories and we want to make sure that we're doing what is really relevant for you out there. Um, and I just cannot see how this could work. Man, why? Why doesn't
Yeah,
it work? Why would you think it could work? Especially if I could just go to the Wayback Machine and just pull up that webpage anyway.
right. It's never gonna, I mean, there's so many copies of everything out there today.
That's how the internet works.
Yep.
Everything's connected. Everything works and does. I don't get it. I did want to share one other quick thing with everybody because we have a great event starting tomorrow. Let me put that event up here on the screen for you. It is the rededication for ARLIC, African American Research Library and Cultural Center. That is happening tomorrow night. So if you're here local in Broward County, definitely stop by 6:30, 7 o'clock until 8:30, 9 o'clock. It is the kickoff for both Black History Month, for the rededication ceremony of the building. It has been 20, can you imagine, Joe, 20 years.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Absolutely
I opened that building. I was there
unbelievable.
as I was like person number 5 hired for the building. I ran the computer center when it first opened, and we did. I
Wow.
just cannot believe we've been here this long and doing it and everything. So when you get a chance to come, we'll show you, if you get a chance to come, we'll show you some stuff. There's the virtual ARLIC exhibit where you can see in augmented reality all of the, not all, but some of the stuff that's hidden away in the back vaults, and things like that. So please take a look at it. And if you haven't, if you can't make it this time, too short a notice for you, please show up again and come on. We're going to be doing events all year long. It's going to be a lot of fun. Have you had a chance to go out and do many of the events out there at ARLIC?
I've been a few times. We had a tablet event there, and I got to spend some time, which I hadn't previously. And it's absolutely incredible what they have there. I was very impressed.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful building, and some of the archival stuff is just Alex Haley's original notes for Roots are just sitting in the back vault. And I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
what are we gonna? Oh man, I know, it's just crazy. Now, see, now I'm dragging on, and I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm gonna take us over time. Thank you so much for being here, Sir Joe. So tell us, what else is going on for you guys in IT? What kind of projects you guys got working on?
Right now, we're really trying to get procurement completed for a new software to manage the computers. Um, we've been having trouble with Windows 10, and Microsoft's gotten really good, and the company we were using to manage the computers has fallen way behind. So we're really trying to get everything fixed up and ready for the public so we can get ready to hopefully invite the full 100% people back soon. And I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody's wanting to get back to normal and we are as
Yeah, and
well.
we've
So
been open, and everybody can come in and use the computers. And I'm gonna guess this is gonna go over just like the last update you guys ran. I don't think anybody even noticed the website updated. Like you guys changed over the website last year. I think it was last year. No one even noticed. The thing just kept on running, and it was like, nope, not even a blip. It just kept on going.
yeah, we actually
So,
have 100 computers already running in a kind of test environment, and
mhm.
yeah, we've had no negative feedback from the staff and the library. So we think
Excellent.
we did a pretty good job of it so far.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, and this is why we have people like Joe on, so everybody out there gets a chance to appreciate all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. It's not just the person there at the checkout desk for you here at the library, it's everybody in the background doing stuff. Let me throw up our final slide here. If you have someone in the library system that, or if your favorite library you want to see featured on Tech Talk, let us know. creationstation@broward.org. We'll see everybody next week. Stay safe.
Take care, everybody.